Welcome back, girls and gals, to another weekly recap where I basically sit in front of the camera and tell you about my week. So let me start with what you see here behind me. Empty shelves. Wait, let me actually show you this mess of a room. So this is what I'm currently working with. Another empty shelf except for a few liquor bottles, which I don't drink anymore. Let me put this one back up. And plug that one in so I don't lose all the content because the battery is low. So why is that? The reason for that is I am moving back to Bremen, and the reason for that is because now that I want to travel the world, I need to save up money. And so because I can do that from anywhere, I think it makes sense to get rid of this apartment so I don't have to pay the rent, so I can save up money quicker. And so moving back to Bremen to my parents, that's awesome. And yeah, actually today's Sunday, so on Tuesday, in 2 days, I am driving back home, but because I'm going on holiday with my family, that's awesome. And then I'm only coming back once to get all this shit moved over to Bremen, and then I'm out of Heidelberg, which is awesome. No, I actually like this city. Heidelberg is beautiful for anyone. You should definitely check the city out. I don't know why I'm showing my room because it's not really representing Heidelberg, but whatever. So beautiful city, but happy to be a little bit more with my family again. So that's what's happening. Moving back to Bremen. This week also, probably the biggest thing, I spent a whole day in Frankfurt am Main, because I wanted to go there to a few events, and so I networked a bit, so to say. No, I basically just met a few people, got to hear a few talks, got to go to a few events, which was awesome, got to see the city. It was my first time in Frankfurt. Another recommendation, if you haven't been to Frankfurt, you should also check that city out, because it's a very nice contrast to Heidelberg. So maybe going to Frankfurt and Heidelberg at the same day or the same kind of trip is awesome. I don't know, I'm coming up with ideas on the go. And so I talk about all the events I'm going to in another video, and I'm gonna link that in the description so you can check that out. But what was really cool, like at the first event I met a guy called Roman. I also talk about it in the other video, but I want to talk about it a bit more. So Roman is involved in IT, but he also has his own project called Ziele und Werte, which is goals and values. And it's basically, he's educating kids in school about social media and like how to use Facebook and Instagram properly if you want to get a job. So maybe I could also learn something from him, because you probably shouldn't like post pictures about you getting wasted if you want, because your new boss will probably also check that one out and it will not be so good. So he's doing that, and so that means he's also doing a lot of networking. He's been to a lot of events already. I felt like he knew every second person. So what I kind of took from it the most is that when you're going to these kinds of events, like usually it's like people talking or giving talks and presentation or maybe pitching their business or something, and it's not at all about that. That is not the reason you should go to these events. The reason why you should go to these events is to meet the people who are also attending, get to know them, and also make them remember you. So that is the reason you're going there. So if you're going there for the talks, they're interesting, that's fine. But don't go home after that. Stay until pretty much everyone else is gone. Be the last person to leave. And talk to as many people as possible at these events. This is why you're there, to meet the people, not to listen to the talks. So that's something I really took from it, and he really hammered in. And like for example, at one event, it was like about climate change, and people were presenting ideas about what an individual can do to kind of help prevent or kind of slow down the progression. And so we were listening to that, but then at the event, like a guy appeared in a suit, whatever, just a guy in a suit, but he kind of like completely was not like Roman was not at all interested in the talk anymore and really wanted to meet that person in a suit. And he said he of course didn't know him, but he wanted to. He said like these are the key players, like these are the people you need to talk to, because he's probably, you don't know, but probably in a more or less important person, and he knows other people. So if you get to know him and can establish a contact with him, then it's opening up all the other possibilities, because he's kind of a key player. So that's something I took from it, and really focus on the people you meet and not the talks. So that was awesome. Also, like, I saw a lot of Frankfurt, awesome city, like I said. And so that was the second thing. And the third thing yesterday was kind of cool, because Arsene, that the guy I met from the Pionier Garage, he's the event manager there. That's also how I got to the hackathon with Daimler there. And he has a startup he wants to try out, Ridey, which is basically a bike sharing platform where people can put on their bike and other people can rent it and stuff. And so, because there are a lot of Chinese tourists in Heidelberg, he was interested in finding out whether or not this is a target group for his business. And so yesterday I met with Arsene and Fu, my Chinese friend, and we three went out again and asked a few Chinese tourists just to see if people were interested and would like to do something like that, would like to rent a bike. And that was awesome. Well, mostly what we took from it, because in China there's a lot of bike sharing and it's a big thing there, and so they have kind of very high standards because the price is very low in China, and it's very easy to get a bike. Like, there are stations everywhere and you just can go with your phone and just scan a QR code and then you can take the bike and then whatever. And it's obviously the prices would be much higher in Germany, so probably Chinese tourists will be a very hard target group to target. But it was interesting just talking to them, doing a bit of market research for Arsene, so I could kind of use my contacts to put together people, which was awesome. And so that was fun, and I think that was the main thing. I just spent a lot of time packing my things, preparing stuff. So today is a short video, or shorter video, I would say. So I will leave you guys with that and see you next week. Peace!